If you've ever wondered how a red light device would work while you're in the shower, this video is for you. Hey guys, Alex here from alexfergus.com, and today I'm gonna do a bit of an experiment. I often get asked, hey, what are your thoughts on setting up a red light therapy panel outside of the shower? So, you know, when you're in the shower, you can turn it on, get your red light hit, two birds, one stone type thing. And I've often thought, hey, that's quite a neat idea. A while back, I actually did some experiments seeing the impact of glass, how it filtered the light, and it does diminish some of the power. So I'll put a link to that video below. I've also talked about the dangers of using red light therapy in a sauna, because these devices, well, not necessarily this one. Well, yeah, typically the red light therapy panels that I have, you know, they've got your open vents and slots on the side, and you can see the wires and circuitry, and they're not designed to be used in high heat, high humidity, or even environments with moisture. So, why am I even bothering doing this? Because, again, I wouldn't recommend using a red light therapy panel in a bathroom unless it was totally encased somehow, installed by a proper electrician and signed off by a plumber and all that jazz. I just wouldn't recommend it. But I still get questions, you know, people are like, hey, can you? What would it do? And I'm like, oh my God, you know what? I'll do a video on it. So that's what this video is going to be about. Now, for my own peace of mind and safety considerations, I'm not using a panel that plugs into the wall for this because, like I said, I think that it's just silly. I wouldn't be using a red light therapy panel in here. I mean, the risk is just too high. You know, you got water. Yeah, no, not cool. But instead, I've got this panel. This is the Infrared Micro. It's a battery-powered handheld device. Obviously, it's still electrical unit, and you can see inside there you've got you know, your circuitry and whatnot. So I don't want to get water anywhere near this. But if water does get in here, metal case and all that as well, it's going to be much less of a risk to myself than a panel that's hooked into the wall. So what I'm going to test today is the impact water has on blocking that therapeutic red light. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to splash some water on the glass, on the inside of the glass, and I'm going to have this panel battery powered device on the outside. And I'll go in with my irradiance meter to test the irradiance, and I'm going to see, firstly I'm going to see the power level with no water. Once we've got that figure, then I'll spray some water on there and then test it again to see, you know, how much light would be absorbed by the body. Because if you're in the shower and you're going to be using a panel like this, that light has to get through all the water and the water on the skin and all that. So I'm curious to see how much of it penetrates the water and whether it's even worth considering such an approach. Which, again, by the way, I think this is a silly idea. I don't recommend you do this. Okay, so let's do it. I've got my infrared device here. I'm going to run both 660 and 850 nanometer light. I've got my spectrometer that I use for testing the radiance. We're going to get the baseline figure first with no water, and then we're going to spray some water on there. Remember, the idea is the water droplets are meant to replicate what it would be like on your skin. So what I'm going to do is use a spacer. I don't have a ruler with me at the moment, so I'm going to use a spacer, just a box, just to give it an inch or two. And for that, I'm going to use the Performance Lab Energy box here. This is a supplement I take every day. Coenzyme CoQ10, PQQ, RLA are really good for mitochondrial health, so I'll put a link to it below. Check it out if you want to. All right, so let's do this baseline reading. You know what? I'm going to do it separate. I'm going to do a red light one and an infrared light. Yeah. Okay, so for red, I'll just read out the highest reading I see. 31. There was a big spike there. Most of the readings were about 15 though. Okay, now I'm going to put that into near-infrared mode. We hit 50. Just a smidgen over 50. So that's pretty cool. All right, now what we're going to do, spray some water on this and retest. Plenty of water droplets on there. It would actually be better to do it while the water is running, but it's getting a bit risky there, so I'm not going to do that. All right, let's test this with the red light first. Remember, we had a peak of 30 milliwatts over centimeter squared. So let's see what we are now. So it's not too much lower. I've got a 27 at the moment, 25 as I move it around. So we're getting a high 20s. So I haven't seen a 30, but that's not too bad. I mean, remember, that's only a few droplets. Okay, so we'll test the near infrared now. Remember, the peak was 50 milliwatts. Yeah, this seems to be way lower. 17, 19, 21 then. Well, we just got a massive jump, and that's what? We're up to 49, 48. All right, so that was actually really high. I actually found a really good spot then. So, what's interesting is the water actually didn't make too much of an impact. Now, if you come in closer, you can see the water drops. There we go. So that's what I was testing through. So it's not a ton of water. Now, of course, if I was running the water on there as if you're showering, it would probably have a much bigger impact. But I'm quite surprised by that, even with those droplets there. I thought it might have quite a big change, but to be honest, it's minuscule. It's only maybe a few percent, if that. So, hey, there we go. There's a fun little experiment for you. If you are keen to set up a red light therapy panel on the outside of your shower, though I don't recommend doing it, know that you should still get a pretty good dose. Of course, with more water on you, movement and all that, it would be hard to find your exactly what you're going to get. But hey, looks like the water doesn't act as too much of a filter. So, you know what? It was a bit of fun, wasn't it? I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's more experiments like this you'd like me to do, leave a comment below. If you've got any questions, comments, feedback, leave them below as well. Otherwise, be sure to subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.